Hello out to all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another PlayStation recommendation. And so I'm going to be talking about Sly Cooper. Now, I'll be honest with everyone. I never actually got to play Sly Cooper. I wanted to, never got to play it. I would love to actually have the opportunity to do so because, like, from what I've seen of the game and what I've heard of the game, it's a pretty cool series. And me personally, I like, I'm a Sonic fan, so yes, I do like anthropomorphic animals being in different roles. I'm not to the point of, wanting things I shouldn't mention with those characters like a lot of other people do. Unfortunately, the internet does that. But I do think that bringing back Sly Cooper would be a boon for Sony. Especially since they've already, they don't own Crash. Honestly, Sony gave up a lot of their mascots, and that was a horrible idea on their part. They gave up so many of their mascots because they had a crap ton of them. And I think they still have rights to Sly. I could be wrong, but I do think they still have rights to Sly Cooper, and if they do, now is the best time for them to go ahead and put work into a new Sly Cooper game. Whether they want to start from scratch, give it a full, redo or whatever, or go ahead and do a trilogy like the Crash trilogy that came out before Crash 4, they could do that. They have the chance to do that. There's 2 chances to do that. And just go ahead and do it. The problem is, the reason that people get so frustrated with gaming now is that so much of it feels so samey. And yeah, you could have multiple games in different genre. You have multiple games in the same genre that are completely different stories and different series. But when the industry is focused so much on just a select few different genres, and those are the ones that they cater to, they let other things that were more unique and more interesting and diverse just die off in the name of chasing the dollar that someone else earned. And it's stupid. It's really stupid because they have franchises that, yeah, maybe they didn't sell gangbusters, but they still did decent enough to turn a profit. And they were still good enough that they got critical acclaim for these games. And if I remember correctly, Sly Cooper was one of those series. The fact that so many mid-tier companies have died out and a lot of middleware games just don't exist anymore is because of the fact that companies decided to copy each other, wholesale copy each other, instead of I like that concept, maybe I can use that in a game that has a different feel to it that I can put my own unique spin on. No, it's we're copying this verbatim and maybe may make 1 or 2 tweaks that are different from this other game. That's a problem. And I think that Sly Cooper is one of those games where it kind of fixes that problem if they were to bring it back out. They were to take the time to go ahead and yes, we'll drop this out there. People that have played them before will come back and get them again because there'll be new updates to the gameplay. We'll be able to use different control features that weren't around back then, that they just couldn't do. And on top of that, we'll have a new player base that gets introduced to this character, and maybe, just maybe, it'll take off. Again, the opportunity is there for it. We have so many people talk about video game preservation and stuff like that, and I am all for preservation of video games. Whether it be the way the game was before, or there be a newer version of that game that retells the tale. I'm for preservation of video games. That's why, so far, everything that I've recommended for PlayStation, outside of the 2 God of War ideas I talked about, outside of one of the 2 God of War ideas I talked about, was bringing back older games, giving it to a newer audience or newer crowd that may not have played it, potentially. And even if a system has sold millions, like 60, 70, 80 million, you don't know if even, like, you can't say that 100% of that install base for that system purchased that game. Some people may have just missed out. Some people may have not been interested at the time. I know that has happened with me before, where there were games that I just wasn't interested in when they came out, but there was a second go around for them and I tried them and liked them. It's happened. I'm pretty sure that happens with a lot of people. So frankly, what I'm saying is, Sony, stop trying to chase the money that everybody else put out there and just do your own thing. And maybe revive some of your franchises if you still own them. Or at least contact the people that may own them and see if you can get something worked out where you can get a newer version of these games. Get in contact with the license holders and try to work something out. At least that's what I would be doing if I was in position to do so. But you guys go ahead and tell me what you think. And actually tell me a bit about Sly Cooper if you've played it. Because again, personally, I only know what I've seen of it. And I knew that there were 3 games on the PS2, I think. Or 2 on the PS2 and 1 on the PS3. Again, I never got to play the series. I really did want to. I just never did. So, again, that's what happens when there's a lot of games coming out. But thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out.